On a silent night in Topkapi Palace, the air was thick with secrets and the weight of centuries-old traditions. The palace, usually alive with the sounds of servants and courtiers, was eerily quiet, as if it too sensed the storm that was about to break. Shadows danced along the gilded walls, and every footstep echoed with the possibility of betrayal. In the heart of this labyrinth, Roxelana, once a slave, now the Sultan's beloved wife and the most powerful woman in the empire, stood at a crossroads. Her journey from captivity to the pinnacle of power was nothing short of extraordinary. But with power came peril, and Roxelana knew that every decision she made could mean life or death, not just for herself, but for her children and her legacy. That night she made a choice that would forever alter the course of Ottoman history. With a steady hand and a mind sharpened by years of palace intrigue, she set in motion a plan that would remove her greatest rival. Ibrahim Pasha, the Grand Vizier, was not just the Sultan's closest confidant, he was a formidable force in his own right. His influence rivaled that of the royal family, and his ambitions threatened Roxelana's position. She orchestrated his execution, not out of rage or jealousy, but as a calculated move for survival in a world where mercy was a luxury few could afford. The palace's quiet masked a brutal truth. Behind every ornate door, alliances shifted like sand, and trust was a rare commodity. To protect her children and secure her future, Roxelana had to eliminate the empire's second most powerful man. The stakes were nothing less than the fate of the dynasty itself. Ibrahim, feeling secure after an evening spent dining with Sultan Suleiman, retired to his chambers, unaware that his fate had already been sealed. In the dead of night, palace assassins crept silently into his room. He was murdered in his sleep, his life ended by the very system he had helped to build. The next morning, whispers rippled through the harem and the palace corridors. Servants and courtiers exchanged furtive glances, and all eyes turned to Roxelana. Many believed she was the mastermind behind the plot, and her reputation as a master strategist, ruthless when necessary, was cemented. In the Ottoman court, even the closest of friends could become enemies overnight. For Roxelana, the path to power was paved with difficult choices and dangerous alliances. On that fateful night, a queen became a killer. Not out of malice, but out of necessity, forever changing the destiny of an empire. Before she was a queen, Roxelana was known as Alexandra Lisowska, the beloved daughter of a humble Orthodox priest in the small town of Rohatyn, nestled in the rolling hills of what is now western Ukraine. Her early life was shaped by the rhythms of village life, church bells ringing in the morning, the scent of fresh bread, and the warmth of a close-knit family. Alexandra grew up surrounded by stories of faith, resilience, and hope, never imagining that her destiny would one day take her far beyond the familiar fields and forests of her childhood. But everything changed in an instant. One fateful day, Tatar raiders swept through her village, their arrival sudden and terrifying. Alexandra, along with many others, was torn from her home and thrust into a world of chaos and fear. Forced into a brutal march across unfamiliar lands, she was sold at a bustling slave market, her fate now tied to the distant and dazzling city of Constantinople. The journey was grueling, filled with uncertainty and loss. But Alexandra's spirit refused to break. In the heart of the Ottoman Empire, Alexandra entered the imperial harem, a world unlike anything she had ever known. Here she was given a new name, Roxelana, a nod to her origins in the land of the Rus. The harem was a place of strict rules, elaborate rituals, and fierce rivalries, where hundreds of women vied for favor and survival. Every day was a test of wit and willpower, and only the most resourceful could hope to rise above the rest. Most women faded into obscurity, their names and stories lost to history. But Roxelana was different. Her sharp mind, infectious laughter, and unyielding resilience made her stand out in a sea of rivals. She quickly learned to read the subtle currents of palace life, turning challenges into opportunities and forging connections where others saw only obstacles. Determined to survive and thrive, Roxelana mastered the Turkish language and adapted to the complex customs of the court. She charmed tutors, attendants, and even her rivals with her wit and warmth. Her cheerful spirit and intelligence won her valuable allies, and she began to carve out a place for herself in the palace's intricate social web. Yet, beneath the surface, the palace was a place of secrets and intrigue. Roxelana learned to move carefully, watching and waiting for the right moment. She understood that in this world patience and cunning were as important as beauty or charm. Every night as she gazed out over the city from her window, She dreamed of a future where she could shape her own destiny. And then, her moment arrived. Roxelana's laughter and intelligence soon caught the eye of Sultan Suleiman himself, the most powerful man in the empire. In a world where few dared to dream, Roxelana's journey from a small village in Ukraine to the heart of the Ottoman court was just beginning. Roxelana's boldness and wit captivated Sultan Suleiman, breaking the mold of submissive concubines. Her rapid ascent made her powerful enemies, especially Mahidevran, the Sultan's first consort and mother of his heir, Mustafa. Their rivalry turned violent, but Roxelana's cleverness and Suleiman's devotion led to Mahidevran's fall from grace. Roxelana secured her position by giving Suleiman a son, Mehmed, and then several more children, challenging the harem's one mother, one son tradition. She became the Sultan's undisputed favorite, fundamentally changing the rules of the Ottoman court. Her influence grew with every child she bore, making her a force no one could ignore. Roxelana was no longer just a concubine, she was rewriting the future of the empire. Roxelana's ambition shattered centuries of tradition. She aimed to become the Sultan's legal wife. Using her intelligence and understanding of Suleiman's faith, she convinced him to free her, then insisted that as a free Muslim woman, she could only be with him if they married. Faced with an impossible choice, Suleiman broke with imperial custom and married Roxelana in a public ceremony. She became Hürrem Sultan, the first legal wife of a reigning Ottoman sultan in centuries. This unprecedented move gave her power, legitimacy, and security no other woman had known. From slave to queen, Roxelana's rise was complete. The empire would never be the same. As Suleiman's wife, Hürrem Sultan's influence soared. She became his partner in both love and politics. She advised him on state affairs, corresponded during his campaigns, and shaped palace politics. Hürrem used her power to launch public works, mosques, schools, hospitals, leaving a lasting mark on the empire. She even corresponded with foreign rulers, acting as a de facto diplomat. Her unprecedented role drew resentment from the old guard, who saw her as a dangerous outsider. Her greatest rival was not another woman, but the Grand Vizier, Ibrahim Pasha, who viewed her influence as a threat. The stage was set for a deadly power struggle at the heart of the empire. Before Roxelana, Suleiman's closest companion was Ibrahim, a Greek slave who rose to become Grand Vizier and the Sultan's brother-in-law. Ibrahim's power was immense. He led armies, negotiated treaties, and was trusted with the empire's most critical decisions. Initially, he and Roxelana coexisted, but as her influence grew, Ibrahim saw her as a rival. Their conflict centered on succession. Ibrahim supported Mustafa, while Roxelana fought for her own son's survival. In the brutal world of Ottoman politics, only one side could win. The rivalry between Roxelana and Ibrahim would soon turn deadly. The fate of the empire and their families hung in the balance. The battle between Roxelana and Ibrahim was fought with whispers, not swords. Ibrahim's arrogance and independent actions gave Roxelana ammunition. She subtly planted doubts in Suleiman's mind about his Grand Vizier's loyalty. She highlighted Ibrahim's overreach and questionable decisions, framing him as a threat to the Sultan's authority. Rumors of betrayal spread, fueled by Roxelana's careful manipulation. Suleiman's trust in Ibrahim began to erode, replaced by suspicion and fear. The friendship that had defined the Sultan's reign was now poisoned by rivalry. Suleiman's decision to execute Ibrahim Pasha was agonizing, a betrayal of a lifelong friend. Roxelana worked behind the scenes, presenting evidence and stoking the Sultan's fears until he was convinced of Ibrahim's disloyalty. To keep his oath, Suleiman ordered Ibrahim's execution while he slept, using palace assassins. The next morning, the empire awoke to the shocking news. The Grand Vizier was dead, his wealth seized, and his legacy erased. No official blame was given, but everyone knew who had gained the most. Roxelana had removed her greatest rival, clearing the way for her sons and securing her power. In the ruthless game of thrones, she had won. With her rivals gone, Hürrem Sultan's power reached unprecedented heights. She was no longer just a favored consort, but the undisputed queen of the Ottoman court. Her influence extended far beyond the gilded walls of the harem, shaping the very heart of the empire. Hürrem became Sultan Suleiman's closest confidant and advisor, her voice echoing in matters of state, diplomacy, and war. She was present in the Sultan's most private councils, offering counsel that would steer the course of the empire for decades. Her intelligence and wit earned her respect, even among those who once doubted her. Beyond politics, Hürrem's compassion left a lasting mark. She commissioned grand mosques, public baths and soup kitchens, ensuring the poor and needy were cared for. Her charitable foundations became a model for future generations, and her vision for social welfare transformed the Ottoman capital into a city of generosity and learning. She also championed the education of women, opening doors that had long been closed. Hürrem's extraordinary life captured the imagination of artists and writers across continents. Her story was retold in paintings, poems, and plays, both in the Ottoman world and throughout Europe. She became a symbol of intrigue, ambition, and the power of a woman to shape history, inspiring countless works of art and literature that endure to this day. In 1558, Hürrem Sultan passed away, leaving behind a legacy that would echo through the centuries. Her final resting place beside Suleiman at the magnificent Suleymaniye Mosque stands as a testament to their enduring partnership and her remarkable journey from captive to queen. Her children, especially her beloved son Selim, would carry her legacy forward. Selim II, her son, ascended the throne, becoming the next sultan of the empire. Through him, Hürrem's bloodline and influence continued to shape the destiny of the Ottomans, ensuring her vision and ambitions lived on in the halls of power. Hürrem's rise marked the dawn of the Sultanate of Women, a remarkable era when imperial women wielded unprecedented influence over the empire's affairs. For nearly a century, women of the harem would guide sultans, broker alliances, and even decide matters of war and peace, forever altering the course of Ottoman history. By breaking the patriarchal mold, Hürrem proved that intelligence, determination, and vision could overcome even the most entrenched traditions. She shattered barriers for women, not just in the palace but across the empire, inspiring generations to come. From her humble beginnings as a captive in a foreign land to her transformation into one of the most powerful women in history, Hürrem Sultan's journey is a testament to resilience, ambition, and the enduring power of hope. Her story remains one of the most compelling tales of power, love, and survival ever told. If you found Hürrem Sultan's incredible story as fascinating as we do, don't forget to subscribe for more dramatic moments from history, where the past comes alive and legends are born.